welcome back to another episode of Tasting Notes. We have what is this a self-described, not by us, by the brewery themselves, dessert beer. Have you ever seen a beer described as a dessert beer?
No,
before?
but it's interesting because you a couple of times recently we had beers where you're like, this would be really good.
Good with dessert.
Oh, you know, we
right.
had the Rusty Rail.
Yes, I was gonna say,
which
right.
was the peanut butter one, and you were like, this would go really nicely with
a chocolate
dessert.
cake. Yeah, there've been I would say a lot of those like chocolate stouts. It's interesting because like a stout, I'm just noticing the trend. This beer is a stout. Stouts seem to be better with dessert. So I wonder if you, and I think there's like one of the chain restaurants or one of those like Fridays, Chili's type of restaurants has a dessert called the Guinness brownie or something. That sounds like a Fridays thing. So anyway, so if you couldn't guess it, we were drinking a stout today. This is Southern Tier Brewing Company. They are in, they're in Lakewood, New York, which is like the far, far west tip of New York. They're in Lakewood, New York. Thick Mint Imperial Stout. So it says a dessert beer brewed with chocolate and mint.
See, I love chocolate and mint.
Okay. I'm kind of curious to see how...
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked about this one.
Yeah, let's get right into it then.
And I'm not, you know me, you're a stout guy. I'm not even a stout guy, but I'm stoked for this one.
Yeah. And when he says I'm a stout guy, he's not even talking about my body type. It's good. So it's an Imperial Stout from Lakewood. They started in 2002. And I think this is dark. Wow. I know that's a stout, but that was... Man. Alright, anyway, sorry, that took me off guard. In case you can't tell, we rarely... I think, like, just as a rule of thumb, we've never drank a beer that we've had before.
No.
Although I think that's soon to change, because one of the beers we have kind of coming down the pike, you sampled and then brought back to me. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. This smells like mint. I can smell it already. I'm kind of curious to see what it tastes like.
Okay,
I enjoy chocolate and mint.
This smells freaking delicious. In England,
This
you
does.
have these these after dinner mints called after eights.
Okay.
And they come in a little packet, and they're I don't know, in your stupid upper middle class way, they're like super ritzy.
Yeah.
It smells exactly like an after 8 dinner mint.
Okay, so in America we have Andy's mints. I don't know, did you ever have Andy's mints?
Who's Andy? Why do I care about his mints?
So not to be confused with Reese's, which is owned by a man. It's Andy's as in the mountains, ANDES.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a chocolate and mint. They give them out at restaurants, but I used to love them. But it smells very much like that.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is really good.
That tastes exactly like an after 8 dinner mint in a glass.
You know what?
Alcohol.
It's not...
And it's like, how could you improve on after 8s? You could make them
into a beer.
Alcohol.
Yeah. It's interesting because this does... I mean, I really liked Andy's mints as a kid. I remember, like, my mom would buy them and keep them in the fridge. And, so it's also interesting that we never really talk about, like, compare our childhoods, mostly because we're, 11 and a half years apart. But it's interesting we've kind of bonded over the mint thing right now.
Yeah.
This is a really good beer. I really like it. And it's not, like, some stouts are very, very thick. And I thought that's how this was going to be. When I was pouring it, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like mud. But this is really good. And the mint really comes across. Like, even just pouring it, you can smell it.
I'm actually thinking of, like, how I'd like to have a dinner party where... I went to a dinner party a couple of years ago where they, like, paired drinks with every course. I'm like, this would be the perfect thing to wrap it up in the evening. You have it, like, chocolatey dessert and you serve it with this. I mean, this is...
Yeah. This is a beer that, like... It's interesting because, like, my mom is a very finicky lady. Sorry, Mom. Not that she watches these beer videos, but whatever. But I would recommend this to her. Because it's not a strong alcohol taste. She would get destroyed because it does have a very high alcohol content. It's like 10% per volume.
Oh, yeah.
So...
10% exactly by volume.
Yeah. So, which is very high for a beer. but it's not. It doesn't taste like it's 10%.
No.
It tastes very, very chocolatey, very minty, perfectly labeled.
I loved it. In fact, if my mother is a big stout drinker, if she ever comes to America,
Really?
I'm like, boom, here we go.
You're like, Mom, meet Bran.
No,
This is
this is
good.
terrific. Okay, so it's funny. The last 3 beers are beers you've picked, and they've all been crackers. They've been really good.
And they've been kind of adventurous.
Yeah.
Like this one was out there. The Schmaltz Brewing one was out there.
I guess.
What's the one we have in the fridge that we're gonna do next?
Oh, there's a pork slap,
Pork slap.
which is also from New York. It's funny that you also picked some
Right.
beers from New York.
Yeah, that was completely unintentional.
Yeah.
That came about mostly because, and now you can tell which ones we filmed together. I mean, if you couldn't buy the clothes we're wearing, but anyway, yeah. So it's, I mean, like I had 2 that was kind of like, we need to try those. They they look good. We need to try them. And then I was like, let's go kind of mainstream, just so we can have a beer that isn't going to be atrocious. But really, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but out of the park, all 3 of them.
And it's the interesting thing is, it's like, if you've watched the beer videos, you'll know that I'm not necessarily a big fan of stout, whereas Brandon is. Out of the ones that you picked, this is my favourite. By a long shot. Even though it's a stout. Even though the previous one was a pilsner.
All of the beers I've ever picked. We've had some good beers. We've also had some stinkers. But legitimately, this isn't very drinkable.
I think I'm the one who's always picked the stinkers. But, no.
Well, I think that you've kind of... I think that I look more at, like, what is this kind of... Like, this is an interesting taste. Whereas I think that you look at it more as, like, let's explore the world of beer.
Yeah.
In terms of the world as in, like, let's go to Russia.
Let's explore the shitty world of lager.
let's drink really shitty Russian beer. Let's drink really shitty Polish beer. Let's drink really shitty beer from Kenya.
It's interesting that
it's like
they're all shitty. They're just shitty in different ways.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, we digress. Southern Tier.
Yeah.
Bloody good job.
Tier, good job.
This is literally one of my favourite beers. And we've, I think it's...
We're beer connoisseurs. We've got
up to like 40 beers now. This is one of my favourite beers that I've tasted.
Are we really up to 40 since February?
I think so, yeah.
That's kind of crazy. We should probably go get our livers checked.
Oh no, mine's already shot, mate.
No, but in all seriousness,
that plane has sailed.
No, but in all seriousness, I would say that we have reached like beer connoisseurship. Probably have had well over 40 beers since February. And, no, I'm really impressed with this. Southern Tier, good job. Also, Hidden Lake Liquors, good job at finding these beers, because, it's not like we're specially ordering them. It's not like I'm, like, holding out for them. I should find the list of... I remember... who published it? There was a men's magazine that published a list of the 100 best beers from the U.S., and it was, 2 beers from every state. We should find that and then just try and drink every beer on that list.
I agree. I'm down for that.
Yeah. So anyway, Southern Tier, good job. And to our viewers, we'll see you next week for another episode of Tasting Notes on Brews Day.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.